Make the injury third quarter.
FBI, now!
The NBA just became a crime scene. This morning, FBI agents stormed luxury condos, sports facilities, and underground poker rooms in coordinated raids across the country. Operation Royal Flush, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Portland Trailblazers head coach Chauncey Billups in handcuffs, Miami Heat star Terry Rozier, perp-walked former player Damon Jones arrested, but here's what will blow your mind. This wasn't just gambling. La Cosa Nostra had X-ray poker tables, rigged shuffling machines, and players literally throwing games for mob money. FBI Director Kash Patel says it went on for years. Every game you watched, every bet you made, every championship celebrated, all potentially scripted by the mafia. And here's what we know, but it's been all over the news lately. President Trump's renewed focus on American mining and critical minerals, and right now District Copper Corp is right in the middle of it. Trading under ticker CAXPF, they've just announced a major U.S. partnership with Reacher Gold LLC, unlocking access to proven gold and silver assets across Nevada, Arizona, and Utah. Now, these aren't just exploration projects. They are real infrastructure-ready properties with verified stockpiles and historical high-grade production. Now, this partnership gives District Copper immediate U.S. production potential and a powerful position in the metals market. With Washington investing billions to secure domestic copper and rare earth supplies, their cross-border strategy combining Canadian strength with new U.S. assets couldn't be better timed. Check out the link in the description to learn more, and big thanks to District Copper Corp for sponsoring today's video. So this just in from the FBI just a few hours ago. Yes, the lid has been blown off the NBA mafia gambling empire. Coaches, players, mob bosses busted in a shocking raid. Let's go to the director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
HS. Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Cosa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across this country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months, and years. And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars. It's not even millions of dollars. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and theft and robbery across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen, not only at the national sporting level, but also where it hides in La Cosa Nostra. And when these two collided together, they perpetrated a fraud that is historic in terms of not just money, but the scheme and the deceit that they utilize to steal and swindle people from money, to include crypto fraud. This is an operation that showcases to you that under President Trump's administration, there is no room for any type of criminal behavior, be it on the world's largest stage or in the back rooms of tiny parlors where card games are being played. We are proud to stand here today with the men and women of the FBI and this legal team. And to the United States Attorney, I just want to thank you personally for taking the time to display the work that the media is about to hear about today in detail. As I said, it does take courageous prosecutors, but it takes a courageous United States Attorney to bring this case, because we are going to take heat for it. But we don't shy away in this administration. We don't say no. What we do is we bring the results across the finish line. We bring them to the public. We bring you accountability. And yes, they will have their day in court, and you will hear the evidence through the court system exclusively. We will not deny anyone of due process. And that's the brilliance of this system. That's the brilliance of this administration. Everyone will be held to account. So with that, I turn it over to United States Attorney Nosella. Thank you. Good morning. Today we are here in New York.
Wow. NBA player Terry Rozier been arrested as part of a gambling investigation linked to the mafia. This appears to be some of the footage where, I'm not sure if this is the footage, where he faked an injury that caused him to throw the game on behalf of his mafia partners. But they're saying he is guilty. Operation Royal Flush busted. FBI raiding and arresting 30-plus in a mafia-linked gambling empire, rigged online poker, NBA prop bets, swindling players dry. NBA HOF coach Chauncey Billups busted. Star guard Terry Rozier on the Heat, ex-NBA vet Damon Jones, ties to 3 New York crime families. When was the last time you heard about anything with these crime families?
Today, as you've heard, our office conducted a massive nationwide takedown from 2 indictments of 34 defendants for their alleged involvement in 2 separate illegal poker and sports betting schemes where, as you heard, the odds were rigged in their favor. Among these defendants are 13 members and associates of the Bonanno, Gambino, and Genovese crime families, to include capos and soldiers from these families. Additionally, as you heard, current and former NBA coaches and players are also implicated, to include Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier. 3 of the named defendants are charged for their alleged roles in both schemes. This alleged illegal gambling operation hustled unwitting victims out of tens of millions of dollars and created a financial pipeline for La Cosa Nostra to help fund and facilitate their organized criminal activity. Today,
La Cosa Nostra, alive and well. Here is more. This is when it hit on Fox.
Understanding that there are arrests being made actively as we speak. This is rocking the league. The FBI arresting a coach in Portland, as well as current and former players. We expect to learn more 40 minutes from now with a news conference from the FBI. Nate Foy's live in Brooklyn, where that news conference will take place. And Nate, good morning to you. What do we know so far? Hello.
Hey, Bill, good morning. Yeah, all eyes will be on that news conference at the top of the hour, as right now we're learning at least 31 people with sports ties and mafia ties so far have been arrested as part of an FBI investigation into illegal sports betting in the NBA and also an illegal poker scheme. Now, the big names, big name coach and player, Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups, as well as a lesser known player and coach, Damon Jones, so far the 3 names that we know, but we'll start with Rozier. This comes after an investigation was reported by the Wall Street Journal into him, a federal investigation back in January that looked into a game back when he played for the Charlotte Hornets in 2023, where there was strange betting patterns that emerged in a game where he left early Bill, after playing only 10 minutes with a foot injury, and there were a lot of bets on the under for his points, rebounds, and assists. So that has been reported in the investigation into Rozier. We'll learn more at 10 o'clock about the details with him. Chauncey Billups is a bit of a different case at this point, Bill. From our information, he is allegedly involved in a poker scheme with the American-Italian mafia. And then Damon Jones is a former NBA player and coach as well, arrested. And this is all related to the same investigation that ultimately landed a lifetime ban for Jonte Porter, a former player for the Toronto Raptors, who admitted to altering his performance in games so that other people could make money off of prop bets for his performance in those games. Now, the NBA investigated Rozier, and he was cleared as part of the NBA investigation, which explains why yesterday he was active for the Heat's game against the Orlando Magic. He did not play because of a coach's decision.
Dude, what else have we got here? Colin Rugg 10 hours ago, 30 people arrested. FBI Director Kash Patel making the announcement. The NBA mafia gambling bust is insane. La Cosa Nostra Italian mafia working with current and former NBA players to rig unders on prop bets and had poker operations with X-ray tables, rigged shuffling machines, and more. Let's see if this is another clip here.
Line for La Cosa Nostra to help fund and facilitate, as alleged, and as you just heard from the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Let's see. NYPD Commissioner, in some instances, players altered their performance, took themselves out of games to make sure those bets paid out. Here is the NYPD Commissioner.
On March 20th. In some instances, players altered their performance or took themselves out of games to make sure that those bets paid out. One example occurred on March 23rd, 2023 in Charlotte. Terry Rozier, an NBA player now with the Miami Heat, but at the time playing for the Hornets, allegedly let others close to him know that he planned to leave the game early with a supposed injury. Using that information, members of the group placed more than $200,000 in wagers on his under statistics. Rozier exited the game after just 9 minutes, and those bets paid out, generating tens of thousands of dollars in profit. The proceeds were later delivered to his home, where the group counted their cash. As the NBA season tips off, his career is already benched, not for injury, but for integrity. In some instances.
Here is more. This is Denver Sports 104.3 head coach arrested. This is their take.
Insane, Trent. Some news broke out very early this morning about a former Nugget, Chauncey Billups, who was arrested by the FBI due to his ties with an illegal gambling ring run by the mafia. I am not making this up. It broke very early this morning by Shams Charania. Insane, Trent. What the hell happened this morning?
Yeah, so just unfathomable. And like this guy, like this is Mr. Colorado, born in Denver, went to George Washington, won Mr. Colorado 3 times at George Washington, then went to CU. His number 4 is retired by CU, and then played for the Nuggets in 2 separate stints.
Yeah.
Like this is a guy who's
like the Colorado kid. Like this is the guy that's homegrown.
People love Chauncey Billups here in Denver and in Colorado. And to see this happen this morning is just like, holy moly.
Insane.
So what we're dealing with here, so there's 2 separate, or it's like a big gambling probe, and then there's 2 separate branches of it. One is betting on NBA props. That is not what Billups is in.
Mm-mm.
That's what Terry Rozier and Damon Jones are a part of.
Yeah, who are also both arrested earlier this morning by the FBI.
Yes, Billups is part of an illegal or a rigged poker scheme with the mafia. And this is crazy. Like this isn't somebody counting cards. This isn't The Hangover when he's counting cards to try to make his 80K. This is they had a table full of people. Let's say there were 5 players, and this is just from what all the FBI and the attorneys were saying at their press conference this morning. This is the information I gathered from this. say there's 5 players at a table and the dealer makes it 6. The dealer and 3 players are in on this scheme.
Wow.
And then there's 2 people they call fish who aren't in on it. And there's the card shuffling machines are all like bought off some weird sub-market somewhere, and they have like cameras in them. And these cameras send a signal to some mafia house who then relays the information back to the poker table. At the poker table, they have somebody who they tag as the quarterback, and that quarterback does some weird signal to, I don't know, tell what cards are coming, and they're rinsing these fish, who they call them, for thousands and thousands of dollars.
Some news broke out very.
So if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. This scandal cuts deeper than sports. It's about trust itself. Millions of Americans invest their hearts, their loyalty, and yes, their money into professional basketball. Kids wear jerseys of players who were secretly taking mob money to miss shots. Families spend thousands on season tickets to watch rigged games. The NYPD Commissioner confirmed players altered performances, pulled themselves from games to cash mob bets. Now, this is not Pete Rose betting on his own team. This is organized crime owning the scoreboard. Every championship, every playoff, every March Madness bracket for years, all potentially contaminated by La Cosa Nostra's dirty money. So here's my question. Should the NBA void every game that these criminals touched? Yes or no? Sound off below. This corruption runs deep, but truth runs deeper. Get your next news gear and stand for integrity, reminding you that the house always wins until the FBI kicks down the door.